So have you ever got a compliment on an outfit and you weren't even trying? Maybe it's a favorite shirt, a favorite sweater, something you've had for years, nothing too fancy. All you know is when you put it on, it gets the job done. In fact, more than that, it just looks good. Compare that to when that time you were dressed up to the nines, wearing that fancy shirt, maybe wearing that fancy suit. But looking back at the pictures, you realize, man, this outfit did not do me any favors. In fact, it made me look washed out. So what's going on here? Why do some outfits work and others don't? To put it simply, gents, there are colors that work for you and there are colors that don't. Now, a lot of you guys know this, but you don't know what to do about it. I did a survey here on YouTube in the community tab, and a whopping 69% of you said you didn't know how to match colors to your skin tone. And that percentage is worse than it looks because you're kind of a biased crowd. You guys are already watching videos on style. And if you don't know how to dress for your skin tone, what about the general population? Now, gents, I'm here to tell you that if you can choose the right color for your skin tone, you are going to be able to stand out from the crowd. This one skill can totally transform your look. On top of that, it can do this instantly, or as long as it takes for you to go out there and simply buy a new sweater or shirt that works for your skin tone. I mean, that's even faster than getting the right fit, which of course is important, and definitely faster than changing your diet and hitting the gym, which again, you should be doing. My point here is that learning this skill in a very short amount of time has a high return on investment. Now, what does it even mean to match colors to your skin tone? Well, gents, for today's video, I went deep on the research. I went through about 20 books published over the last 60 years trying to teach men how to match color. And I'll save you a lot of time and frustration by telling you most of the books I read were dated, confusing, and left me frustrated. So what I've done for you, in my opinion, is create the easiest system for a man to dress for his skin tone. In fact, no matter what your skin tone is, by the end of this video, you will have 10 colors that will work for you in your wardrobe. And I promise you, some of these colors you have never considered adding to your wardrobe. And if that wasn't enough, down in the description of today's video, I'm going to link over to Real Men Real Style, my website, where I'm going to have a definitive article and a free PDF that you can download, where you will get 25 colors that will work for your color palette that you can introduce to your wardrobe. If you're a man that wants to take action, then you need to check out our course, The Style System. And if you're not familiar with this course, this is the internet's definitive professional style course. I break out formulas, I break out foundational knowledge that you can take into any situation so that you can start dressing better, start presenting your best self, and earn more money over your lifetime. So if any of that sounds interesting, again, check out the link in the description of today's video. Go explore our website, realmenrealstyle.com. So first up, let's address the elephant in the room. Why does color even matter? Well, in nature, we see that color is used to camouflage, to signal change, to attract, and to warn. So first up, camouflage doesn't apply to most of us today, unless you're out hunting or trying to stay alive in a war zone. Next up, let's talk about signaling change. So you guys down in the tropics miss this, but I know up here in Wisconsin, we got all 4 seasons. And whenever fall is approaching, what do we notice? A change in the color of the leaves. Next up, attraction. There's a reason that a lot of fruits are brightly colored because it's a signal to certain animals, hey, come eat this, have the seeds go through your system, and then deposit those on the other side of the forest. Basically, a lot of plants use animals as a dispersal system. However, there is a double-edged sword to this because color can also be a warning to stay away. This caterpillar right here is poisonous, but this one is not, and they look very similar. And so this is mimicry in nature. And again, further highlights the power of color because that non-poisonous caterpillar doesn't have to be poisonous. It just simply mimics the color and birds stay away from it. Now, how does this apply to human beings? Because we use color in a similar way all the time. Camouflage, for a lot of you guys, you think it's for hunting or fighting in a war zone, but camouflage is also used when you wear the company dress code. Think about it. You want to blend in, you want to fit in, you want to be part of the tribe. You're not looking to stand out. Next up, let's move to warnings. The power tie. What does this signal? That this guy is in charge. Don't even bother questioning him. Yeah, it's not always a great thing, but we defer to someone that looks like the authority. But as we talked about earlier, this also works on the flip side. Attraction, you want to come off as more attractive. Using the color red in clothing or on your lips, as women know, definitely draws people in. In summary, we care about color because it's a shortcut. It's been ingrained in us. When we see a green light, we go forward. When we see a red light or we see a red sign, what do? We naturally want to stop. So bringing it all together, how does this relate to you choosing the right color for your skin tone? Because when you do this, when you choose the right color for your skin tone, for your colors, it just makes you look healthier. It makes your skin look a little bit more alive. The right color makes a healthy man look even healthier. Now, the biggest valid objection I hear from men all over the world about why they can't choose the right color for their skin tone is that they are colorblind. And gents, straight up, I'm here to tell you that men are at an inherent disadvantage when it comes to choosing colors. I mean, it's right there in our genetics. The genes associated with color identification are right there on the X chromosome. Well, as a man, we get an X and a Y. Women, they get two X's. In a nutshell, they get a backup copy. For us, if there's anything wrong with the genes responsible for color and vision, yeah, we're screwed. We can't compensate for it. On top of that, apparently a lot of women have a higher number of cone cells than the average guy. So this gives them the ability to see more colors. And guys, I haven't even touched on the socialization and education system. So one of the keys to seeing something is to understand that it's even there. If one person is taught that there is a color blue and another person is taught that there are 50 different variations of that blue, and they're shown examples and they get to play with them in art and fashion, it would make sense that this person is probably going to be able to pick up on the slight variances and they're going to have a vocabulary that can describe it. Well, guess in general who is pushed at an early age towards fashion? Towards art? Well, it's not us guys. We're pushed towards construction, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it really hurts us when it comes to being able to see color. And you can train yourself even later in life to a degree to be able to see variations in color that previously you could not. All of that being said, gents, the system I am going to break out for you in today's video is going to use hex codes and is going to have a very simple system for being able to find the right colors for your skin tone. So first up, I'm going to take the billions of men on this planet and I'm going to divide them into 7 skin tones. If you can't tell, that's me being a bit funny because of the foolishness of even trying to do this, but I want to give you guys a working system. And by going with these 7 right here, most likely you will fit in one or be close to one of these categories. Maybe you're between 2, and in that case, go for both the colors in both of those categories. So starting here at the very top, we've got very fair skin. Next up, we've got fair skin. After that, light skin. Then you have medium skin. Farther down, olive skin, then brown skin, and then finally, dark or deep skin. Now in today's video, I'm not going to talk about undertones. In case you didn't know, every single one of those skin types could be a cool undertone, a warm undertone, or a neutral undertone. For today's video, to keep it simple, I am assuming a neutral undertone. That being said, if you disagree, if you want to add something, if you want to comment, guys, I love hearing from you down below. Your comments help make these videos better. So the first 7 colors I'm going to share with you: navy blue, gray, and this comes in a variety of shades and tones here: pure white, burgundy, what a beautiful color, beige, a classic neutral, charcoal, which in case you didn't know is a very sophisticated alternative to black, and finally teal, probably the most unique and striking color on this list. Gents, all 7 of those colors work for pretty much any skin tone. These are what I would call your default wardrobe colors. If you wanted to build a classic, versatile, interchangeable wardrobe from scratch, one that you would get a lot of miles out of, that you'd be able to get your money's worth out of, I can tell you if you used these colors right here in 90% of your clothing choices, you would have something that would stand the test of time. I mean, assuming the styles of the clothing you're buying is classic. So many times people try to bring in too much color. I like to look at color as spice. You just add a little bit to the meal and it brings out the flavors. Now, before I get into the colors that really work for your skin tone, I want to warn you with colors you probably want to stay away from if you've got this particular skin tone. So if you're on the far end, if you're from Northern Ireland, if you've got really fair skin with light colored hair, colors that you want to avoid are anything that are going to be neon, any dark browns, and olive greens. Now that first set of colors may seem obvious to a lot of you guys, but the last 2, it's like, hey, can't these work? Maybe some of you guys with really fair skin are saying, hey, I actually have an olive green sweater that I like. Well, gents, I want to stress, you can wear whatever you want. What I'm trying to point out is that there are colors that are probably going to do a better job than the ones I'm warning you to avoid wearing. So leaving very fair skin, let's go over to the fair skin guy. In that case, he's going to want to avoid bright orange, pale yellow, and very dark shades of most colors. And by the way, when it comes to skin tones that are 1 degree of separation away, you would probably want to listen to this advice as well. Because the reality is very dark shades. I know a lot of situations in which a guy with light colored skin, very light colored skin would want to wear something like this. I mean, maybe you're going to a wedding and you got to wear that tux. Again, I'm not saying you can't wear it. I just want you to be aware that those really dark colors can wash you out. So instead of wearing that black rental, can you talk to your buddy about you wearing your charcoal gray tux that makes you look amazing? So what about if you've got light skin? So the colors you're going to want to avoid are going to be gold, tan, and definitely bright red. What about for the medium skin guy? So he's going to want to avoid the neon brights, pale pastels, and very dark browns. Now this guy can still wear a pastel, but he wants to avoid the really pale ones. The ones that look almost white, they're going to just pull color out of his skin and they're not going to complement him as well. Now what about the guy with olive skin? So this guy wants to be careful with the color green. Mustard yellow is going to do him no favors. And the caramel or walnut browns he needs to be careful with because they won't give enough contrast between the skin. Now what if you've got brown skin? The colors you want to avoid here are going to be black, dark purple and browns, and very pale pastels. For the guy that's got dark or deep colored skin, it turns out it's very similar. He wants to be careful again with the color black, the dark browns and dark greens, and again, the very light, very muted pastels. So what's the deal with black? Why do you need to be careful with it whenever you've got darker colored skin? Well, the reality is in certain situations like black tie, I think it can look really good, but it can also be overpowering or too harsh, especially in a non-formal situation or where you don't have black next to a white shirt. The same thing with those shades of purples, of brown, of green. They're just too dark. They work with the skin. Instead of going with shades, maybe you want to go with tints. All right, so I didn't mean to confuse you. You may be thinking, what's a shade? What's a tint? What's a hue? Let me explain. So the word hue, this is the pure form of a color. A hue has no addition of black, white, or gray to it. Hues are the base colors as they appear on the color wheel. By the way, there are thousands of hues, and in today's video, most of the colors I'm talking about are hues. Now shades, as the name sort of indicates, this is when you take a hue and you add a bit of black to it. And depending on the percentage of the color black you add to that hue, it will darken the color. Now the reason this is done in clothing and also in art is it creates a deeper sense of feeling, an intensity with the color. An example here is the hue of blue, but you add a bit of black, what do you get? Navy blue. Now a tint is the opposite of a shade because this is where you're starting to add white to the hue. So again, let's take the hue of blue and let's add a bit of white. What are the colors we're going to get? Baby blue, maybe even sky blue. And while we're on the subject, let's talk about tones. Tones are where you take a hue and you add the color gray. So why would you ever want to add gray when we've got white and black? Because when you add gray to a color, it reduces the color's intensity. It makes the color less subtle. It makes it less bright. In the case of the hue blue, all of a sudden we get steel blue. All right, so getting back to our 7 skin tones, let's talk about the colors that will make these skin tones look amazing. First up, for very fair skin, these 3 colors are the ones you want to gravitate towards. First up, we've got salmon. This is going to be a red tint. What's great about salmon is it's so flattering for very light, fair skin. There's not a lot of colors that can do this, but salmon just works so well with this complexion. If you can find shirts in salmon, this is going to look so good with your complexion. Next up, we've got light blue, specifically powder blue. Now, most men are going to look good in a variation of blue, but the key right there is finding the variation. And for this very light skin tone, you want to go for this one here that's not going to overpower your complexion. Again, perfect for casual shirts, dress shirts, even a sports jacket. Next up, we've got a soft pink, specifically light pink. It's gentle, it's warm, and it adds a nice flush of color. Next up, for the fair-skinned man. First up, we've got Indian red. What I love about this color is it's muted, it's warm, and it works really well for this particular complexion. Next up, we've got coral pink. It's a warm pink with just a hint of orange that gives, again, a really healthy complexion to your skin. That's what we're looking to do here. Find colors that make your skin glow. Next up, let's go over to the green hue. Specifically, we're going to go with the medium sea green. So this color is really unique, and what I like about it is it provides just enough contrast, but of course, it's not overpowering. And gents, again, as a reminder, I'm giving you a guide. You can say to hell with any of this. You can wear whatever you want. What I would recommend is try out some of these colors I'm recommending because I want you to find something that just you wouldn't have noticed until you put it up next to your face. A lot of women are conditioned to do this. They go out there. I've got daughters. Whenever they're out grabbing a dress, they put it up right next to their face because they want to see how it makes their face glow. I want you to be able to find colors like this that just work for you, that make you feel like $1,000,000, that help give you the confidence to go out there and change the world. Next up, we've got the light colored skin man. The colors that are going to work for him. First up, we've got pale green. So this is a light, fresh color that works especially well in the spring and summer. Next up, we've got peach. This is a soft, warm hue that complements light skin with its subtle, inviting warmth. Next up, we've got a soft lavender. Specifically, the color is thistle. This is a muted lavender that is a unique color and it works really well with light skin. What I love about this one is it's going to help you stand out from the crowd without looking like you're trying too hard. All right, so for the guys with a medium skin tone, the first color here is yellow-green. Now, this is a bright and lively shade of green that really does a great job of enhancing your skin tone. It brings out the warmth and it's a unique color that can help you stand out from the crowd. Next up, we've got one of my favorite colors, amber. This is a rich, warm yellow that enhances your natural skin warmth. Next up, let's go over to the blue hue, specifically medium turquoise. Now, this is a really vibrant color. It's got that blue-green mix, and this is going to stand out against your skin. And again, what we're looking for in the colors I'm talking about here are ones that you can wear. Not every guy can pull off this color, but you can. And by the way, gents, don't forget, down in the description of today's video, I'm linking over to that article, to that ebook that actually is going to have 25 colors for every skin tone. Sorry, I couldn't put it all into one video. That would have been like a 2-hour video. Yeah. All right, for the next skin tone, olive skin, the first color we've got here is the dark sea green. Now, this is a muted green that really works well with the yellow undertones we normally see in your skin type. Another color that works for you in the brown hue is going to be a dark tan. We're talking a bronze. This is a deep, warm brown that harmonizes with your natural colors. After that, we've got a unique gray tone, which is known as pale taupe. Now, if you can find this color in a suit, it's going to look really good on you, but this color right here, it's a classic gray with a warm undertone that works really well for that olive skin without washing it out. Now, what about for the brown skin tone, gentlemen? For you, my friend, look to the color crimson. Now, this is a deep, vibrant red that stands out against brown skin. If you've got the courage to wear this, this provides a rich, striking contrast, and I guarantee you're going to get compliments. Next up, let's go over to the green hue, specifically the color emerald. This is a deep, vibrant green that provides a stunning contrast with your skin. And again, most men cannot pull off this color. You can. Now, this next one is in the red-orange hue, and we're talking the color rust. Don't let the name put you off. It's an absolutely beautiful color, and it's going to be a bit more muted than the other ones we talked about. And that deep orange red, it's going to accentuate your natural skin tone and just make your skin glow. Now, what about for the man that's got dark? You've got deep colored skin. Well, you, my friend, are descended from royalty because the hue you can wear, the one that looks great on you, is one that very few men can pull off, and that is gold. Now, this is a luxurious, bold color that is incredibly striking. You got to be careful. Don't wear it all the time, but when you want to get compliments, you want to stand up from the crowd, you want to just make your skin pop. Gold is a color you want to gravitate towards. Now, over in the blue hue, you could look at royal blue. This is a bright, deep blue that pops against that dark colored skin. All that being said, if you know your history, the true color of royalty, because it was one of the hardest colors to produce, is going to be out of the purple hue. And that color is dark violet. And seriously, gents, if you don't know the story, so the Greeks, I believe they had to kill thousands of these like sea snails to be able to get this particular purple color, and it was toxic, and people, it was very expensive to get this color into their clothing. And thank goodness we don't have those issues anymore, but this color still makes you look amazing because this deep, intense purple, it looks regal, luxurious, especially against dark and deep skin tones. Well, gents, if you enjoyed today's video, you want to check out this other one, how to dress for your height. I'm putting together a whole series here. Go check it out. It is a solid video right here. I enjoyed putting it together, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, come on, click on it. It's good.